Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm so happy you joined me today. Today is my fun fold day, and I'm going to be doing what I call a diagonal Z fold. Is that not fun? I love it. So fun. The only difference I'm going to do is I am going to place a larger sailboat right in here. I got to looking at it and I thought, you know, it's missing one thing, and it's the sailboat right there. So I have a little bit larger stamp of a sailboat that I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it really cute and really fun. Okay, now this stamp set, Selling Home, is going to be in the new catalog, but the designer series paper sadly is not. It is retiring as of June 2nd, so if you'd like to have this designer series paper and the little trinkets that go along with it, you need to make sure you order it by June 2nd because it will be gone after that. And you can do that at my shop at www.mypaperconnection.com, which I'll put across the top of the screen. Okay, a little bit more business before we move on. This is the new catalog, and unfortunately I can't open it for you right now. June 3rd you will be able to see it, but if you would like to see this for yourself, and if you do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, just send me a message through my website and I will get one of these catalogs out to you. I have something else exciting to tell you as well. If you get this catalog and you see that there's about $100 worth of stuff you want to purchase, and by the way, well, let me just say this. If you see you have about $100 worth that you want to purchase on your wish list, then you should consider purchasing the starter kit. Now, that does not mean you ever have to shoot a video or hold a class or anything like that. You can just simply be a hobby demonstrator, which is what I started out to be. And I would love to have you on my team. Stampin' Up! Announced on June 3rd, which is the day, not June 3rd, on today, which is May 26th, as I am recording this. They just announced today that from June 3rd to June the 30th, anyone who purchased a starter kit through Stampin' Up! Would also have the option to pick a free bundle. Now what that means is for $99 you get $125 worth of product. You get to choose what you put in your basket as that product. You get to choose the $125 worth. It's all your choice. And every purchase after that, as long as you're a demonstrator, is at least 20%. Sometimes, or once you hit a certain level, it's 25%. But you know what? If you don't ever want to do anything but purchase products for yourself, you'll receive 20% off. And isn't that an amazing deal? And if you never want to purchase again, you don't have to. Now, I think you probably will want to because there's always amazing things going on. But I would love to have you on my team. And if you choose the starter kit, then you get to choose a bundle, which could be a punch and a stamp set or dies in a stamp set, anything like that. Okay, so I think I have I've explained it. Hopefully I've explained it enough. I have a really fun team of ladies that we get together virtually and in person, you know, because I have some that are not in the same area as me. And we craft together. And so if you would like to be a part of a fun team, my team, I would love to have you. And if you would like to talk about this further, I would be happy to have a conversation with you. All right, so if you would like a catalog or if you're interested in more, just let me know through my website. Okay, without further ado, let's get started playing. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm taking it to the 4 1/4 line, and I'm just going to score like this. Then I'm going to turn it in this direction at 5 1/2. And I'm going to cut it. Now what I have done is I have created 2 card bases. This one I'm going to put to the side. And this one I'm going to bring in and I'm going to score it at 2 1/8. 2 1/8 is the long tick in between 2 and 2 1/4. It's halfway. And I'm just going to move my scoring blade down to the bottom so I don't accidentally use it. And then I'm going to score it like this. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down from the bottom, measuring 2 inches up, and I'm just going to mark it right here. Now I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and I'm going to go to the mark here, right up here. So where your middle score line is, you will put it in one of the little crevices. It's an indentation. I've heard people use a word for it, and I don't know what it is, but anyway. So then you're going to take your cutting blade and you're going to cut. So basically you're going to cut from here up to here, okay? All right, so just bring it across like that and you're going to have this left, all right? So then I'll go ahead and fold. I'm going to burnish it like this. Then you're going to take your front piece and you're going to fold it backwards like this. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your designer series paper. Now this is about 2 inches wide by 3.5 or so. And what you're going to do is you're going to mark it at the 1 7/8. Now 1 7/8 is between 1 3/4 and 2. It's like halfway between. So you'll just mark that on the corner. And be mindful of the direction that you're doing it in. This one needs to go this direction. So you'll mark it right about in there. And then you're going to go from here up to here. Now one thing that I like to do, I actually like to put it in place and then just kind of mark it like that of where I feel like it should be cut out, because even doing it with the measurements, sometimes that ends up having one side that's a little bit longer or taller than the other. So then you're just going to go ahead and put these in your on your trimmer, and you'll line up those marks in that little indentation area, and you'll just go along and trim it like that. Okay, and you can see how that fits pretty well in there. Okay. All right, now I do have to erase that little mark. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to figure out what my measurements are from here across here. And I've already measured the way you figure that out. I'll just back up. The way you figure that out is you take your ruler from one end over to the other one. And this happens to be about 3 3/4, something like that. This happens to be 5.5 or so, right? Well, a little bit less, but 5.5, yeah. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 1/4 inch less on both sides. So instead of 3 3/4, I would make it more like 3.5. And on here, I would make it more like 5.25, okay? So, but I'll tell you, again, one of the easiest ways to do it is to hold it up next to it. Take your pencil and mark it about where you think you would like it to be, like that, and like this. Now I'll put measurements in my website, but just know that that is really the easiest way to have it spot on perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my marks and I'm going to line them up in the trowel. Is it the trowel? I keep trying to come up with the word for this, but I'm going to line them up here, and then I'm just going to cut them off like that. And it'll go in right here in this direction, and it will be perfect. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is close it now. Now this piece is going to go at this angle rather than at that angle. And again, it should be the same measurements as that one, only you're going to cut it in the opposite. So I'm just going to mark it right here and right here, and I'm going to go in and cut it off. The next thing I'm going to do is to do some stamping before I actually put my card together. And I'm just going to stamp my sailboat here. Let's see if I can fit the other one. Yeah, and I'm going to stamp the other one right here on it as well. Then I'm going to close my black ink, bringing in my Night of Navy ink, and I'm going to stamp an anchor. Let's see. There. And then I'm also going to stamp thanks. And I'm going to use this one instead because I don't know how much room I need for my cutout. Okay, so the next thing I'll do is to actually do my coloring. So I'm bringing in my smoky slate. Yeah, it's the light smoky slate. And I'm just going to go along the sails like this. I'm going to use the bullet part of my dark smoky slate just to do that, the post or whatever you call it, that the sail is attached to, the wooden piece at the bottom. Then I'm going to bring in my crumb cake, the light crumb cake, and I'm just going to color in my boat. I'll come back in with my accent, or my darker color, to do my accents, and then come back over it with the light again. I'm bringing in my balmy blue just to do a little bit of my ocean work here. I'll come in with the darker. And I'm going to bring in my light Night of Navy just to hit up a few of those areas. And then I'll bring in my light balmy blue again and just blend that together. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my various pieces. So I will be right back as I do that. All right, so I've got all my little parts and pieces cut out and ready. So we're going to go ahead and assemble the card. So I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the back of this first piece. And I love the designs of this paper. I love that it has the blue for the nautical look, but then there's also the gray and black. It has ropes and anchors and compasses and all sorts of cool things. I'm using liquid glue, which is a good thing because then if I don't get it perfect, you can just slide it in place. Look at that pretty green. It's beautiful. So this piece goes right in here on the front. And you have to make sure when you have patterned paper that you have it going in the correct direction. You would not want your compasses to say that it was north going down, right? All right. Got like newspaper on the back of this one. Such cool paper. I actually made a birthday card for my husband's boss. They're military and they're in public affairs. And I used that paper to look like a newspaper. And I put a big happy birthday across the front. It's really cool. He loved it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. It's my Whisper White that goes on the inside. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I have some of this baker's twine, which is also not, it's retiring as well. And I'm going to just bring this on the inside through that hole. If I can get it through it without shredding it. Let me trim that off. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to double knot this and then I can trim the tails off after I get it done. I find it easier on this particular type thing to cut off what you need first. Okay, so I got a nice little double knot going there, and now I'm going to place small dimensionals on the back of it. I love these mini dimensionals. Sure, you could cut the other ones in half, but this sure makes it a lot easier. I've got all the backings off. Now I'm just going to place it right about in here at an angle, and then I'll just trim these off. Now I'm going to place mini dimensionals on the back of my sentiment as well. I brought in my sailor's knot and I'm just putting glue on it. And then I'll put it in place right about here. And then I will put dimensionals on the back of my large sailboat. And we'll put it right about here, like that. Okay. Then we'll put dimensionals on the back of our smaller sailboat. Before we put our smaller sailboat in, we're going to go ahead and glue up our wheel. And we'll put it right about in here. And then we'll take the dimensionals off of this. And we'll just place it about like that. And the last thing that we'll do is to bring in our trinket and our glue dots. We'll place that right on top of the glue dot, press it, pull it away, and we're going to place this right up in here. I really like my diagonal Z-fold. And it's so fun to open and close. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, if you like this card, I hope that you will try to make one yourself. Even if it's not this particular themed card with this paper or whatever, just give this card a try, and I would love to see what you come up with. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, I'll just ask you to do that today and ring the little bell, and that way you'll get notice when future videos come out. I would love to hear your feedback and your comments, and if you make one of these, I would love to see your card as well. If you haven't already, you can go to my website and subscribe for information that comes out, or you can go to Facebook at My Paper Connection and like that, and you can see as I have events and things coming up. Again, if you would like a catalog, please let me know, and I would love to get one out to you. Okay, have a great day. Bye-bye now.